All right, so I'm going to go through it kind of quick. So if you need more time, you can always pause it and look at the problem. 8 is just 2 to the third. So when you have an exponent raised to a exponent, it's just multiplication. So 32 is just 2 to the fifth, and that gives me 5 times 2. To the fifth again, and this is divided by the x, and that's just raised to the half. I multiply by 2x to get rid of my fractions, and got it equal to 0, factored, and solved. Cosine is just the adjacent over hypotenuse, and to solve it, use the inverse cosine. And then we have sine opposite over hypotenuse, multiplied by 35 on each side. And then we have tangent, which is adjacent over opposite, or opposite over adjacent, opposite over adjacent. And then you'd multiply by a and then divide by the tangent of 28. So it's 33 divided by the tangent of 28 degrees. Let's see, first thing I did is found angle R, which was across from this 14. So I did law of sines. So sine of the angle over its opposite side equals sine of the angle over its opposite side. I got my angle here. And then subtract it from 180. And then subtract that one from 180, and you get this angle. And then you can just find the side using the law of sines again. So the sine of P, which was about 43-ish, 44, over P, little p. Same as sine of 110 over 30. And then the area formula is just 1/2 side times the side times the sine of the angle in between them. Negative 4 pi over 3. Negative is this direction. And if this is 3 pi over 3, then one more third would be up to there, would be 4 pi over 3. And then the sine is the y value, so that's the height. That's square root of 3 over 2. Cosine of 2 pi, which is all the way to here. What is the x value? It's 1. 7 pi over 6 goes all the way to here, because that's 6 pi over 6. Another 6 is here. Cosine is the x value. So it's a negative direction, so it's negative, and it's square root of 3 over 2. As I know, my reference angle is 30. My domain is restricted, so I can only go from pi all the way to 2 pi, so I just cross that out. Cosine is negative in this quadrant, and I know it's going to be divided by 4 since this is square root of 2 over 2. So it would be 4 pi over 4. This would be 5 pi over 4. 0 is not in my domain. So I go all the way around to pi and to 2 pi. Would give me sine of is equal to 0, because that's the height of 0. Height of 0. My y value is 0. Pi over 2. All the way to 3 pi over 2. All these are gone. So then I have all the way here is 3 pi over 3. So one back would be 2 pi over 3. And that's where sine is positive. I went over 3 and up 7, put a dot, knew it's an upside down parabola because of the negative 1. So open circle because it's not equal to it when x is 4. So I drew my sketch. Y-intercept's at 2. I just went up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, put a dot. So that's 4. It starts at 4. And the slope of a half. Move it to the right 1 and down 5. To the right 1, down 5. Right 1, down 5. Just do that with every point, and you have your g of x. This is f of x. X minus 1 gets shoved in for that x. So he goes x minus 1 minus 3 gives you x minus 4. Subtract 5 at the end. And that changes that 7 into a 2. Also, just do the same thing. X minus 1 here, distribute, combine like terms, and don't forget to subtract your 5 at the end. One more page. Here it is. Plotted my points. Took my domain, divided into 5 equal parts. So I start at 0, end at 4. So I add 4/5 to each one until I get to 4. Finding midpoint, so I have to find halfway between these guys. Well, half of this distance is 2/5, so I just add 2/5 to my lowest. And that got me 2/5. And then all I have to do is add 4/5 to each one. And that'll get me to the middle of each of my rectangles. And that's how I did that. And here's where I used it. There's that guy. There's that guy. There's that guy. Everything else stayed the same. So I just wrote it out. This is the only thing that was changing. It started at 2/5. It's going up by 4/5 each time. And if I plug in a 0, I get out my 2/5. So that'll give me my first one. And that would be 1, that would be 2, that would be 3, that would be 4. So that's why I went from 0 to 4. Some people use 1 and then 5, but that'll change this guy. Combine like terms. And there you go.